Hello and welcome to DCC Model Railway Signalling. In this third video we're going to show you how to configure the signal interlocking with the points and vice versa. So we'll start up the application, we'll leave the shell window open for the time being, but we'll focus on the main application and we'll open the file that we ended up at the end of video 2, video example 1. Now, before we do configure the interlocking, I'm going to make a couple of minor changes to the schematic. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add another signal, and I'm going to change that to a distance signal. So double click on the signal to bring up the configuration dialog, and I'm going to select 2-aspect green yellow, and I'm going to click apply. And then finally, I'm going to put one more track section in front of that signal, because that will hopefully make it easier when we're demonstrating the track section occupancy in a subsequent video. So what we need to do now is we need to configure the interlocking. So we need to look at each signal in turn. So signal 4, double click on it to bring it up the configuration dialog and select the interlocking tab. Now there is only one available route from this signal, and that is back into platform 1. But for that route to be valid, point 1 needs to be not switched. So in here, point 1 and not switched. That's the symbol for not switched. If we wanted it to be switched, then we'd just click that again to be switched. But we'll just change that back to not switched for the time being. And then we can click OK. Signal 3, it's a similar situation. The only route is out to the rest of the world. So if we double click that and bring up the interlocking tab again, that also needs point 1 to be not switched. Point 1, not switched. OK. Signal 1, slightly more complicated because we have two routes. We have the main route going into platform 2, which requires point 1 to be normal, and then we have the left-hand diverging route into platform 1, which requires point 1 to be switched. So if we go to the interlocking tab, that's still relatively easy to configure because both routes depend on point 1. The main route needs point 1 to be normal, and the left-hand divergent route needs point 1 to be switched. So we can now click OK. Point 2, if you remember from video 2, this is slightly different in that the main route, controlled by the main signal aspect, is out to the rest of the world. So point 1 needs to be switched. The right-hand diverging route, which we've enabled for the shunting movement there, is back into the siding, and that requires point 1 to be normal. So if we select the interlocking tab again, and the main route needs point 1 to be switched, and the right hand diverging route needs point 1 to be normal. So we can just click OK on that. Finally, signal 5. Now, bearing in mind this is a terminus station, it's effectively the end of the line. So we can configure a fixed distance signal here, and that's quite easy if I show you this little trick. If we go to the interlocking tab, there's only one route. Well, it doesn't really matter what route it is because it's just the route to the next signal, so it's just the main route. But if we configure this, point 1 needs to be switched and point 1 needs to be normal, so point 1 switched and point 1 normal before that signal can be cleared, you can see that that is a condition that can never happen because the point is always going to be switched one way or the other. So if we just OK that to apply it, and now we can have a look at the interlocking. No matter what the state of point 1, signal 5 is always locked and is always locked at caution. If point 1 is normal, Signal 3 can be set to clear, and signal 1 can be set to clear. Note there's no feather route indication on that because that's showing the route into platform 2. And you'll notice whenever these signals are set to clear, point 1 is locked, so you can't change that until the signals are cleared down again to re-enable that point. On signal 2, it's a similar situation, but you'll see here it's the shunting move back into the siding. That is unlocked when point 1 is normal, but as soon as I switch that point, the shunting signal is locked because that shunting move is no longer possible, and you can select the main departure route to the rest of the world. And that's basically it for the interlocking. The one more thing I will do just before we end this video is as trains can travel in this direction into platform 1 or into platform 2, they're going towards that point. So we really should, if we want to follow British Railway practice, give it a facing point lock. So if I just open the dialog for the point, click that box, press OK, you will now see there's another button, and that is your facing point lock. So before the point can be switched, it needs to be unlocked, switched, and then locked again. And you'll see that until the point is locked, you cannot clear any of these signals. So if I unlock that point, none of the signals can be cleared. Lock the point, and the signals according to the route we've selected can be cleared. And that completes this video on basic signal and point interlocking. So I hope you found it interesting, and that's all for now. And in our next video, we'll cover interlocking of the signals with other signals and also track occupancy sections. But thanks for watching.